I'm back. It's the Great Debate Show, and I'm live on YouTube and I'm live on TikTok. The Great Debate Show is available on all social media platforms. Rate, review, follow on YouTube, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. That way, you will be notified each and every time a new episode pops up. And that's why you got to follow also on all other social media platforms, because you just never know when your favorite unk might pop back up. They call me Uncle JJ, and this is the Great Debate Show. And today we're going to debate if the San Francisco 49ers can make it to the Super Bowl now that they're not the number one seed, now that they will not be at home for the rest of the way until somebody takes them out. Or if no one took them out, they would be here and they didn't have to pack their bags. Well, now they lost last night. They have to pack their bags right now, immediately, and they have to get ready to go to Philadelphia as a number 6 seed, or going to Carolina or Tampa Bay as a 5th seed. Point blank, period. If it's pretty simple. If the Atlanta Falcons beat the New Orleans Saints today, Carolina gets in the playoffs. If the Atlanta Falcons lose to the New Orleans Saints today, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are in the playoffs, and they will hold that 4th seed. And of course, something that I wish they would stop doing, they host a playoff game, even though neither team really deserved to do that. I say that and bring that up because Carolina lost yesterday. I got that wrong also. And Tampa Bay won. They can win again. They are 8-9. Carolina's 8-9. The tiebreaker is in Atlanta's hands. I can't explain why. I'm not even sure why. And I really don't even give a damn. I just know that the only way we'll get the 5th seed. Good morning, King Mikey. Grand Rising, brother. How you doing? Thank you, Mikey, for joining me. This is the Great Debate Show, and the only way we get that 5th seed and go to Tampa Bay or Carolina is if the Rams lose today in Arizona, which I highly doubt that's going to happen. So let's just say the Rams are winning today in Arizona, as they probably should and will. Then the Rams are 5th seed, and we're the 6th seed, and the Eagles are locked in at number 3, winning the NFC East. The winner of Atlanta and New Orleans today will resolve that whole issue and all that drama as far as who wins the NFC South and who hosts that playoff game. Whoever that is, Tampa or Carolina, they're locked in at 4. The only way we get to play that 4th seed team is if we're a 5th seed team and we lose to, damn, I lost my train of thought. If the Rams lose today to the Cardinals, then we're 5, they're 6, and then they go to Philadelphia. But more than likely, the Rams are going to beat the Cardinals today, and they're going to be the 5th seed, and they're going to go to Tampa or Carolina. We will be the 6th seed, and we're going to have to leave good old Bay Area, good old California, and pack it up and get ready to bundle up for a cold, and I'm pretty sure frigid, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Now, the last time the Niners were in Philadelphia, they beat the Eagles 42-19. That was kind of a different team. We were more physical. We had a defense still. We had Debo, who ran them in the ground, 3 touchdowns, and Brandon Ayuk was there. It was 2023. It was a Super Bowl year, and we were cooking, just like we had been cooking on offense the past 6 weeks up until last night. I'll get into that in a moment. But the Eagles are going to host the 49ers right now. And I know the Eagles have not been the Eagles as of late, but they do have a winning streak going for themselves. They beat the Raiders. They beat the Commanders. Those aren't really anything to brag about, but they still got the wins. And then they got to play the Buffalo Bills, which was more of a contest, more of a test to them to see where they're at now. And they kind of dominated up until the last 5 minutes of the quarter, and they beat Buffalo at the end, even though the Bills could have beat them if they had got the 2-point conversion. Mr. Superman, aka Josh Allen, he just didn't make a good throw. Okay? So the Eagles beat the Bills, but they really didn't beat the Bills. Technically, they did win. I'm saying all of that to say this. Are the Eagles still good enough to beat my Niners as bad as we looked last night? You would think so, right? Well, I've been giving you scenarios on how we can still get back to the Super Bowl in 5 weeks, even if we were not number 1 in the NFC and if the path didn't come through Santa Clara. And it's not now. And before I get to the point to explain why we can get back or how we can get back, if we even can, let's talk about why we're in this predicament right now. We put ourselves in it. How? I want to say, first of all, good morning to King Mikey. Good morning to Moore, Corton Moore, Beckon or Beckkirk, B-Kirk, 996292 said Buffalo Bills. Grizz, Just a Stick, and Roger Moore. Thank y'all for joining me right now. Also on TikTok, Steel DRE. How you doing, brother? Grand rising to all my kings and queens. BTA Madden, Steel Dre. Thank y'all for liking this content. The more likes attracts more viewers. I appreciate it. Toya Lola. Oos, respectfully, this will not be the hardest one of the hardest road games. I'm about to tell you what I think in a minute. Give me a second. Good morning and grand rising, kings and queens. Clara Musgrave says, "Go Niners." Right back at you. Right back at you, Niners, sis. How you doing today? Thank you for joining me. What's up to Brad Arnold? What's up to Tiger One, CB, Joshua Smith? What's that football question you got, Tiger One? Cody Busher. Broncos coming back to San Fran for another victory. That very well could happen. They did it 10 years ago. They could do it again this year. What's up to that Niner belt looks nice, my guy. Thank you very much, BTA Madden. What's up to Andrew M. Warner is coming back too. Purdy is hurting. I love watching the 49ers lose. Thank you for that comment, Mikey. Black, that Niner belt looks nice, my guy. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We lost the number 1 seed. We lost the bye week. We lost home field advantage. Yeah, that's what happens when you're not number 1, Albert. You lose it all. Toyola says 100%. Niners had the easiest schedule in the league, by the way. We've been saying that all season, though. Lotus, Odom. All right, that's enough. That's enough. That's enough. If I read all of them, y'all, I'll be here all day, and I gotta hit that road, man, that pavement. Okay, seriously though. Thank y'all for joining me. You could be anywhere in the world right now, but you're here with me, and I really do appreciate it. The 49ers, Brock Purdy is unlikely to miss any time, though. The quarterback should be fine for the playoffs after he left the game. What did he leave the game for anyway? Was it like he kind of busted up his thumb in his left shoulder? He got a stinger last night. Well, that stinger is going to be all right. He'll be able to play. Now, will we start to question how true that is, how accurate that report is that I just got a moment ago? When we start seeing him, like just his balls sailing or floating, or they just look like ducks. If he starts throwing these ducks, then maybe he's not 100% and he should be able to go. Will he end up getting pulled in that game and we have to see Mac Jones in Philadelphia next week? I'll talk about it in a moment, but the report just came in is that Brock Purdy suffered a stinger. I found that out last night, and that stinger is saying that he's going to be okay. He should be just fine. He will not miss any time. He also kind of busted his thumb up pretty good, but I think that was maybe just like a nail or something was bleeding there, but I don't think he did anything to his thumb as far as any ligaments or any damage. All right, last night, ladies and gentlemen, we can talk about how the Seahawks defense dominated. We can talk about how the Seahawks ran the ball right down our fucking throats. Something that most teams can do, they just for some reason we're not doing it. But we're not even going to talk about that NFL script and that fake stuff that I tell you all that I think goes on in the National Football League. But I've been telling you all for weeks now, why didn't the Colts run the ball more? Why didn't the Bears run the ball more? Why didn't some of these teams that we've beaten in the last 6 weeks not run the football more? Last night, the Seahawks said, fuck that. We're going to run the ball and we're going to stop your run. And that's exactly what they did. But there's 2 plays. Whether we want to talk about the Seahawks running game or the 49ers lack of a run game, there's 2 plays that this all boils down to as to why we didn't win. Ohio State lost because they just were not better than Miami. More. I hope I answered that. Yes, the 49ers did get their ass whipped. They sure did. They sure did. Somebody said, another black guy. Yes, I am black. Thank you for noticing that. Can't even spell whooped. Oh, he sure did say. No, he meant to say whipped, I believe. Thank you for the comment, JB. How y'all doing, man? Here's the trolls are in here. Let them have their fun. Let them have their day. They love this. But one thing about it, you'll never see me upset or angry or disappointed. I'm not any of that because I don't even think any of this stuff is real. I tell you that every week, win, lose, or fucking draw. Do I or do I not? And if you don't know that, then you don't watch the Great Debate Show. Anyway, I digress. There's two plays that we can boil this all down to as to why. Get those likes up, y'all. On YouTube, please get those likes up. Let's be honest, both games was dog shit last night. Sure was. Especially ours, though. There was two plays that boils down to the whole thing as to why we did not win that game last night. And everybody knows what it is. 3rd and 17 and the Christian McCaffrey fumble that led into, well, not fumble, but drop that led into an interception. Now, I know that pass was behind him a bit, but Christian McCaffrey has came out himself this morning or last night and said that he holds himself responsible. He couldn't hang on to it, and he said that bobble on a near touchdown, which was the best drive we had all fucking night long. He holds himself responsible for it, and he says blame him. He takes the blame. Full responsibility, as he should. Because, well, let's be honest, y'all, he should have caught it. Mr. Nearly 100 catches a year. Mr. I can do it all. I can run. I can catch. I can even throw if you need me to. He still should have caught it. Yes, the pass was a little behind him, but that's because Seattle was on Purdy's ass all night long, and they put pressure on him. But hey, what did you expect? Austin Pleasance was good last week, but that was a different defense compared to what we saw last night. They probably needed Trent Williams a little bit more, but it's a hamstring injury. He would have aggravated it, and he probably wouldn't have been able to play in the wild card game next week. So I didn't think he was going to play. I really didn't. But the 3rd and 17 play by Seattle, even if they had gotten 15, 16 yards, you hold them without any points and they punt it back to you all. But they couldn't do that. 3rd and 17. Seahawks fans, I know you're going to talk your shit, and I know you're happy and you're excited, and you should be. But one thing we learned last night is something that I've always known. Clint Kubiak and the Seahawks do not trust Sam Darnold, though. If you watch that game and the way they called that game and when he threw it, play action only for the most part, they did not put the ball in his hands to fuck it up for them. One thing for sure, they told us last night, we're not going to let Sam Darnold lose this game for us. Now, again, he got the win. He didn't make any mistakes. That is still a win. And I'm not trying to discredit him, but I'm just telling you from watching the game, nobody's really that worried or scared about Sam Darnold if you can do some of the things that we were able to do last night. And they did not let him force the ball down the field. You didn't really see many big plays. Everything was just move the chains and try to get some points. Their biggest plays were their run game, though. And I mean, look, why not? We can't stop the run. So, yes, go at it. Have at us. Run the ball. Gently down our line. First down, first down, first down, first downs. Everywhere. Do that. It makes sense. That's football. I get it. But I'm just saying, down the road, number 1 seed or not, the Seahawks coaching shows you they don't have that much faith in Sam Darnold. It was against our secondary, our defense, and they did all right. He did all right. Diamador Lenore was a non-factor. He didn't even cover Jackson's, what's his name again? Smith and Jigba. He did not cover him at all after the first drive that he interfered with, and then it was just Renardo Green the rest of the way. And he got 8 alive too. That's 2 good games this season for JSN, Jackson Smith and Jigba, against the 49ers DBs, or the DB, I should say. They didn't line him up on Diamador Lenore's side. They didn't do that now, Seattle. Before you go talking your shit, you didn't say, well, we'll go over there and beat him since he's going to stay on the left side of the field. Yeah, he's always the left cornerback. He never went over there, but Diamador Lenore never went over there to follow him either, after saying that he wanted to shadow him all game long. Robert Saleh, what was up with that? So again, we could talk about 13 points. They only allowed 13 though, Unc. They couldn't stop 3rd and 17. That's all that matters. Had they done that, different story. But let's not act like the Seahawks didn't leave points on the field. They missed a few field goals. They missed opportunities early in the game, 4th down, came away with nothing. The Seahawks could have had 20 24 points, even though they only scored 13. Let's not act like we were elite last night on defense. We were not. And that 3rd and 17 run proves that we were not elite at all. We didn't deserve to win if we can't stop you on 3rd and 17. They didn't even let Sam Darnold throw a screen or just a check down, just dink and dunking and try to get some yards. They said, we're just going to run it. They tapped out every time it was a 3rd and long. And what happened? They got 17 yards, 20 yards, 18 yards, whatever it was. They got the first down. Wow. That Niner defense should be ashamed of themselves. But this is what happens when you pay your quarterback. These were the things that I complained about. If you ain't got a defense, if you had to let people go because you had to pay your quarterback, well, we better make the most of that, and that quarterback better play his ass off. He better earn it, every penny of it, every penny of the 53 per million, and they better score. And I've told you all for over a month now, we're all right if we score 40 a game, but we can't beat anybody if we do not score 40 a game. Well, we scored 3. We didn't even see the end zone, and the closest we were to seeing it, Christian McCaffrey dropped the football. And that's how we lost the game. Those are the 2 biggest plays right there. We lost the game because we got dominated the entire game. But if there were 2 plays we needed to make, we didn't make them. We didn't get the 3rd and 17 stop, and we didn't get McCaffrey to catch that football that probably would have either been a touchdown or we would have been right around inside the 2, inside the 1. That was our only option, our only chance to score there. We do that, it's 13-10. Plenty of time left for us to maybe get a stop because they were not going to allow Sam Darnold to F this up for them. I'm telling you, if you got eyes and you watched it, you know that. Maybe we would have had a chance. Maybe. But it comes down to those 2 plays. We didn't deserve to win that game last night. We needed to see that game last night, Niner fans. The Niners needed that wake-up call. And if it's real, hypothetically speaking, let's just say that the NFL is really real and it's not scripted or anything like that. The Niners needed that loss. It was a good wake-up call. Good wake-up call. Now, will Trent Williams be ready for next week? I don't know. Will Ricky Pearsall be ready for next week? I don't know. But at some point, in the back of your mind, even though you've been begging and pleading for the number 1 seed, at some point you've been saying to yourself, these injuries are going to catch up with us at some point. And last night, those injuries did not help us out at all. Ricky Pearsall would have tucked the top off the defense. We were not able to do that because he was not there on the field. Remember week 1 in Seattle? Ricky Pearsall had a good game. He didn't get in the end zone, but I think he had like 7, 8 catches for about 90-something yards. And they were all big plays, like 3rd and 8, 3rd and 11, stuff like that. He's the go-to guy for Brock Purdy. They set the tone week 1. And even though they were out for some time, when they came back, they got that show right back started again. The Brock Purdy to Ricky Pearsall show. But without him playing last night, oh man, they were suffocating. The Seahawks defense was suffocating. And I'm not making excuses and saying that if we had Pearsall, we would have won. But the fact remains that he didn't play. So let the Seahawks have their fun. Let them troll. Let them say whatever they want to say. But at the end of the day, as I told you all, I can go back to the excuse party, train. And that excuse party train says that we're not even supposed to be here. We weren't even supposed to win 12 games. Yes, our schedule was easy as fuck, but with the injuries that we suffered this season, most teams still wouldn't have made the playoffs. With the easiest strength of schedule or not. And back to that defense that I said was bad, or our offense that we said was so good and so hot, which it has been. You know that defense for the past 6 weeks beat Shadur Sanders, Jacoby Brissett, a 44-year-old Phillip Rivers. You know what I'm saying? Quarterbacks like that is who we beaten. So we hadn't beaten Caleb Williams last week, barely. And I don't even know still if Caleb Williams is that damn good. So the quarterbacks that we beaten lately, I don't know why Niner fans should be surprised at all. They shouldn't be at what happened last night. Sam Darnold was competent enough of a quarterback to lead his team to victories. All right, they got 14 of them. I just know that they don't want to put him in any situation because he will start seeing ghosts at times. But I'm glad that the pressure is off of our Niners now. I'm glad that we don't have to deal with all the hype because they were beginning to hype us up, and I do not like that. I much would rather be under the radar. I heard Rich Eisen talking earlier in the week, and boy, was he blowing some smoke. It was so much hot air, it could have filled up a balloon. I didn't want to continue to hear that, and I'm glad I don't have to hear that anymore. People were starting to buy into the 49ers, even though they know we've got a weak defense. Mr. T. Luan says Purdy is cheeks. Man, what would you say if Mac Jones played last night? We would not hear the end of it. Oh, it's Mac's fault. Oh, it's Mac's fault. Nobody's going to say a thing now because it was Purdy, and they're not going to blame Purdy. I'm not even here to blame Purdy. Nobody was open. Where was Kendrick Bourne last night? Why didn't we see Sky Moore on the field, on the offense? Why wasn't he returning kickoffs? He can't get touches with Ricky Pearsall being out. And Kyle, I got another question for you. Where in the fuck is Jordan Watkins? He's been a healthy scratch for over a month now. What is going on? What is his thing with not wanting to play rookie receivers? I've seen that dude like one game. I hadn't saw him since the Giants. The Giant game was in October. Where is he at? We could use that speed. Sky Moore, we could have used that speed to at least, even if they're decoys, make these guys stay back and open up some things underneath. Christian McCaffrey had 8 carries for like 23 yards last night. They've already set the blueprint on how to beat the 49ers. So I ask you all, after last night, no running game, couldn't stop the run on defense. Kyle Shanahan looked lost. Clint Kubiak outcoached, and Mike McDonald outcoached Kyle Shanahan last night. He literally seemed like he had nothing. And he's complaining about 3 games in 12 days. Like he was almost preparing us for that loss. I know everybody says he's coach of the year, and he probably should be for what they've done. But last night, do you think he was coach of the year? This is why I've always been on Kyle's ass. Because he does just enough to get our hopes up high and then lets us down when we need him the most. He's never great when we need him to be. He's always great when it doesn't really matter or you didn't expect it. And last night, he was not great at all. He didn't scheme up any good game plans, and I know the Seahawks defense was good, but damn, Kyle, you're supposed to be good too, so who's going to win this chess match? Well, Kyle didn't win it. But again, y'all, no Trent Williams, no Ricky Pearsall. And if anybody is bragging about beating the Niners, you're beating up a battered and butched and beat up team that has been that way all fucking season long. So give yourself a round of applause. Pat yourself on the back, Seattle. Congratulations. But you didn't do anything last night that you were not supposed to do. But now the pressure is on your ass because you got the #1 seed. What are you going to do with it? I digress. Let me get to the playoff scenario now. I'm glad we don't have that pressure on us now, though. Now we're where we're supposed to be. We're a #6 seed. We're finishing 3rd in the NFC West. As long as the Rams win today, which they better and they should. We're going to finish 3rd in the division, and now we can do all those things that I preached about on New Year's Day. When I came in here and told you all the path to Santa Clara, back to Santa Clara, if we lose home field advantage. And then next season, we get to play the 3rd best teams in the respectful divisions. We won't be #1 playing the best teams in their divisions. I don't know which division we get next year in the AFC, but let's see. This year we played the East. I don't know who we get. The North? Is it the North next year? No, it's not the North. No, we had the South this year. So I think we get the East. The AFC East next year. Well, guess what? We don't have to play New England. We don't even have to play Buffalo. We play the 3rd best team in that division, who was the Dolphins. And I don't know how the Dolphins will be next year, but you get what I'm saying? This is the benefit. I'm going to try to give you the positive spin on this. This is the benefit to being number 3 in your division. And that's just a little better than we were last year. Just a little better because we finished last in the West last year. We're going to finish 3rd this year. So, yeah, we got 12 wins, but I am okay with going into next year not playing the best, hardest strength of schedule because we don't need that. We're not prepared for that. I don't know what our draft is going to look like. I don't know what we're going to do in free agency. I don't know any of that. But I would like to think in 2026, we will be better than most of those teams who we will play, who are the 3rd best team in their respective divisions. That's just that. We'll play the Commanders instead of the Giants if we play anybody from the East. We will play the, if we play the West, we don't play the West, though. We don't. We play the AFC East next year. And to the NFC, whoever finished 3rd. We won't play Chicago or Green Bay. Damn, we'll play Detroit, which is not really a good thing either because they fell off, but they're probably not going to be bad next year either. Then again, they probably will. Their Super Bowl window's closing too. All I'm saying is that the strength of schedule was going to be the hardest had we won last night. And I don't want that unless we won the whole damn thing. Now I'm going to tell you how we still can do that. I know people are going to laugh. People are probably about to sign out. It's not the end of the world, y'all, that we didn't get the number 1 seed. This is not the end all be all. I'm not going to lie to you. Had we gotten that number 1 seed, Kyle was going to get Coach of the Year. And I am actually a little scared that we were going to be one and done. So I'm not telling you I'm glad we lost last night. Why would I say that? But I also am kind of relieved that it's over with. No more pressure on us. Now we can go back to under the radar, and you can go back to dissing us and trolling us and saying we suck. I see plenty of people calling me a clown right now. How am I a clown? What am I saying clownish other than we lost the damn game and we were dominated? I'm saying all the fucking facts. Some people just like to hear themselves talk or see themselves type. Come on, y'all. Don't call me anything on here on social media that you wouldn't call me to my face. Stop it. Can we all keep it civilized here and just have a great debate? Here on the Great Debate Show podcast. Damn. Thank you, Andrew. Thank you. All I'm saying is that if we had the number 1 seed, nobody is fearful of coming to Santa Clara. It may be a little wind gust, but it's not going to be 50. It's not going to be 40, 30 degrees. It's not going to be windshield factors. It's not going to be, even though it get loud sometime in Levi Stadium, it's not fucking Buffalo. It's not the Superdome. It's not one of the loudest stadiums in the world. What home field advantage? What we even really going to have it other than the fact that we can just stay at home? Kyle would have got Coach of the Year. We probably would have been one and done because Seattle would have ended up coming back to us had we won that game. Seattle would have been the 5th seed. The Rams would have been the 6th seed. Okay? Seattle will beat Carolina or Tampa Bay next week, and they would have came to us. More than likely. Because the Rams, well, they probably wouldn't have beat Philly. And even if they did beat Philly, then the Rams would have came to us at 6. Do you like your chances at home against the Rams or the Seahawks? The Seahawks just dominated the Niners last night. Would it have been any different if it had happened in the divisional round? I'm okay with our backs up against the wall right now, and I'm going to explain why. The Philadelphia Eagles still don't quite look like the Philadelphia Eagles. And they're probably not playing any of their starters today, so they could come in a little bit rusty next week. They've been looking rusty on and off all season long. We play a lot of zone coverage. Jalen Hurts doesn't look too good in zone coverage. You all tell me he's not a real quarterback. Even though he's a Super Bowl MVP, he ain't that good. The offensive line has not run blocked very well for Saquon Barkley. He's on the cover of Madden. A.J. Brown is still bitching on and off. They just don't look like the defending champions. It could be a long shot, yes, I'll admit, for us to beat the Eagles next week, but we can do it. Now, would I much rather go to Carolina or Tampa Bay? Yes, I would. I predicted that we would lose to Tampa Bay in the regular season, but we would get our revenge in the postseason. So it would be great if we got that 5th seed and we went to Tampa instead of Philly. But we can go to Philly. Their defense is not better than Seattle's. Seahawks fans, while you're on here trolling and calling me clowns, can you agree with me that your defense is better than the Eagles? Something that we can probably finally agree on here today. Why can't you just say, good game, we kicked your ass, I like how you're taking it like a man? That's all that has to be said here. Nothing else needs to be said. But the Seahawks defense looks much better than the Eagles defense these days. The Eagles defense every now and then reminds you that they still do got a stout defense. But Vic Fangio, I don't trust him until he's got every single spade in his deck of cards. Every joker, every spade. You know, he has to have every ace to every card. That's why they looked so good last year. This year, it's been kind of so-so. We can beat Philly. We damn sure can beat Carolina or Tampa Bay. Moving on to the divisional round, if we do get past Philly. Because I'm going to say, look, our offense may not have to put up 40 to beat the Eagles, but we definitely need to put up 30. I can see us doing that. We just could not do it against Seattle. If we get Ricky Pearsall back, if Trent Williams can come back, and we take that top off the defense, that always helps the run game. Now, they're going to try to stuff the run just like Seattle did last night. But if Pearsall is there, hey, let's throw the ball to open up the run game. I think we can do that. On the flip side, what is our defense, our terrible, trash-ass defense going to do against Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, all those big names who have not really done much this year? It's been on and off. It's been up and down. Well, I'll tell you what they're going to do. If they decide to say, hey, Jalen, stop trying to prove to the rest of the league that you can throw the football. Hey, Jalen, how about you use your legs and run more? Hey, Jalen, stop forcing the ball to A.J. Brown. If they do those things, we lose. Point blank, period. Now, as a matter of fact, we may get our asses kicked. But if they continue to play the way they've been playing, and that's doing everything, the opposite of everything I just said, or Jalen tries to prove to us that he's a good quarterback and he can throw the football down the field, forcing it to A.J. Brown, not getting Saquon involved, not blocking for Saquon enough, not letting Jalen Hurts use his legs. If they continue to bring that offense into the wild card playoffs next week, our defense can make them punt a few times. Maybe just a few. And they're not as physical as Seattle. Seattle punched us in the fucking mouth last night. I don't know if the Eagles can do that. Yes, it was a bad look last night going into those playoffs, but I would much rather take that than to go into the playoffs looking red hot. Because I've told you for the past 2 months now that every team that goes into the playoffs with the best record and they look red hot, they usually are one and done. And now I'm just glad they don't have to be us now. Well, we could be one and done, but I said teams with the number 1 or number 2 seed, home field advantage. If we're one and done, everybody expects that now. Nobody will bet on us to beat the Eagles. And I'm just saying I kind of like it like that, though. It's okay. We can beat Philly. And if we beat Philly as a number 6 seed, we're more than likely going to the number 1 seed Seattle Seahawks, where we would play them for a 3rd time. Unless the Chicago Bears get upset to the number 7 Packers, which could happen. Now, if the Packers upset the Bears, we're going to Chicago. And the Packers go to Seattle. I think the Bears win this game, though. No Micah Parsons. Jordan Love will be back, but he'll probably be rusty for a quarter or two. He ain't playing today, even though he's out of concussion protocol, so he's going to chill, and they're going to reload and get ready for next week. But they have to go to Chicago. I think the Bears win that game, I think. Can the Packers win it? Yes, of course, they can. But can they stop the run? Ben Johnson and what they want to do with that offensive line. So if the Bears beat the Packers, the Bears would host the winner of the Rams and Buccaneers or the Rams and Panther game, which will be the Rams. So the Rams would go to Chicago. Okay, somebody is asking to be a guest here on the show. So it does work. It does work. What did you just do there, Max? And I may let you in for a second. And what do you want to talk about? Max just invited to be a co-host on this show. We thought that didn't work. I'm glad I saw that. Last night, the 49ers were Carmelo Alvarez and the Seahawks were Bud Crawford. Speaking of Bud Crawford, I'm the one who said he would win when everybody told me he would get his ass kicked. And that's why you should be following the Great Debate Show. Bang, bang. Niner gang. Jay the Rebel. Thank y'all, man. Yes, the 49ers can destroy the Patriots. Oh, okay. Y'all talking about something else. I'm going to let y'all have that. I just stepped into that. But congratulations again to the Seattle Seahawks. The better team won, clearly. You dominated us. We beat you all week 1, 17-13? You all beat us last night, week 18, 13-3. Dominated. And I know it looks bad that we only scored 3 points going into the playoffs. That looks ugly. But not to me. It just tells me nobody will bet on us, which is why I probably will. It'll be a big plus. And I think that we can actually beat the Eagles. The Eagles aren't really that fearful to anybody. Now, they can be, but they haven't looked like that damn team. So it's a long shot, but ladies and gentlemen, Niner fans, Niner gang, we can beat them. And I'm going to bet that we will. And then I think we go to Seattle. And another reason why I'm kind of glad we lost last night. Do you think we would have beaten the Seahawks 3 times in one season? Well, if we had beaten Seattle last night, we would have had to beat them 3 times. Because Seattle would have beaten Carolina or Tampa Bay next week. I'm sorry. I just think they would have on the road. And then they would have came right back to San Francisco 2 weeks later. And we would have had to beat them for a 3rd time. It's almost impossible. It happens, but it's rare that a team beats the same team 3 times in one fucking season. So I'm also predicting that, yes, go ahead and get your drug test out. If you want me to take a drug test, go ahead and get it out. Because I know that's what y'all about to say. Need to be drug tested. But I predict that we still will beat the Eagles next week in Philly. I predict we go to Seattle and we beat the number 1 seed Seahawks. Because maybe we just beat them on the road more than we beat them at home. And I predict us to be in the NFC Championship game. And after the Rams beat the Bears in Chicago, because they're going to beat Tampa Bay or Carolina, then they're going to go beat Chicago. If Devontae Adams is back healthy, the Rams can win in Chicago. The Rams can win in Philly. They're really that complete. I know they've kind of been slipping here lately, but watch out for the teams that have been kind of slipping. They're going to beat the teams that are going into the playoffs red hot. I don't know if it's the Patriots or the Broncos or the Seahawks, but somebody's going to be one and done. They just are. And according to the Pope said that the Seahawks win the Super Bowl or go to the Super Bowl every time they win 13 games. It's a fact. They've done that. Well, they won 14 this year. So maybe they're not going to the Super Bowl. I've got Rams at 49ers. 49ers at Rams in Levi South. SoFi Stadium, NFC Championship. I've been saying it's going to be an NFC West battle in that championship game, and I'm standing on that. Yes, our defense is bad. But the Eagles' offense is so inconsistent. And Seattle's offense, they didn't just whoop our ass last night. They ran the ball. Now, how can we stop the run in the divisional round and we couldn't stop it last night? Oh, that's a good question. We stack the box more. We don't worry about the big plays. We force Sam Darnold to make a pass, to make a big throw. I don't know. But we have to do something different. And again, y'all, I think it's a script. I will not be surprised if we still get to this Super Bowl. And if we don't, hey, man, who cares? What the hell? We weren't supposed to be here anyway. We've already exceeded our expectations of the 2025 NFL season. Have we or have we not? All we expected to do was maybe get to the wild card, and that was before we lost Bosa and Warner and Michael Williams, and I could keep on going. Didn't have Purdy for half the season. Didn't have Pearsall for 6-7 games as well. Didn't have Kittle for a lot of games too. This is before we had all these injuries. We thought that we would get to the wild card, and nobody even gave us a chance to win a wild card game. So if we lose to Philadelphia, guess what? We did everything the critics said we would do. That's it. I got 49ers and Rams in the NFC Championship game in LA, SoFi Stadium, a.k.a. Levi South. This is kind of how I much would rather have it. It just makes the road to the Super Bowl that much more respectful, that much more satisfactory. Because it's like, wow. I mean, the last time we had home field advantage, we barely won those games. Green Bay kicked our ass for a half before we snapped out of it. Detroit kicked our ass for 2.5 quarters before we snapped out of it. And we were just physically drained, it seemed like it, by the time we got to Vegas and played the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Not to mention we lost Dre Greenlaw. But it was a battle to get to the Super Bowl that year, and we had home field advantage. We've always kind of been better when we're on the road. We just come up short. And the last time this scenario happened was 2021, where we went on the road and we beat Dallas. Then we went to Green Bay and we beat them. And then we went to LA. And Jaquiski Tartt dropped an interception and the rest was history. And we came up this short from reaching Super Bowl 58? No, 7? Whatever the hell it was. You get what I'm saying. It was Rams-Bengals. It should have been Niners-Bengals. I predicted this year Niners-Bengals. I've already gotten the Bengals wrong. I'm probably going to get the Niners wrong, but I got to stand on what I said. I said we're going to win the whole damn thing somehow, some way. It's in the script for us to be the third team to win a Super Bowl in our home stadium in NFL history. And it would happen 3 times in 5-6 seasons. I know Josh. He said, hell no. Well, look, y'all gonna let me have my theory or what? I broke it down. I'm gonna read some comments. Tonight, I'm taking the Ravens over the Steelers, and I don't even really know if it matters. The Ravens may surprise people and make some noise if they make the playoffs, but I doubt it. I know the Steelers won't win a playoff game if they get there because I don't think they beat Buffalo or probably even Jacksonville. I've got Niners at Rams NFC Championship game. I've got Texans at Bills AFC Championship game. Now, if the Bills get eliminated early, the Texans are probably going to the Super Bowl. I know the Patriots are good. Offensively, they're really good. Defensively, the Broncos are really good, but they still both have babies at quarterback. And I don't know if I want to trust that. And somebody's going to be one and done. I guess I'm saying it's going to be the Seahawks right now, but y'all are just going to say I'm hating and I'm a clown because I'm just pissed off and I'm in my feelings because the Seahawks beat us last night. All I'm saying is that the pressure is on Seattle now. What's that guy's name? The linebacker, Jones or whatever his name is for Seattle, were talking that shit last night and said we have been getting overlooked all season. I'm sick of it. We're not pretenders. All right. No, you're not. You're the number 1 seed. Act like it. Act like it starting January the 10th or 11th. I'm sorry, January 17th or 18th. Act like it. Y'all like my WWE calendar? Who is that for January? Is that Seth freaking Rollins? I haven't been reading any comments, so I don't know if anybody noticed it or not. All right, y'all. I just said it. Yes, our defense is fucking trash. Smokey Mike 24. Thank you for the comment. I love how people just like to come in and just say bad things. Nobody never wants to come in and say good things. This is the world that we live in today. Let's just troll and be cruel. That's just the way we are. Man. Well, not me, but that's why life sucks. That's why this world it's full of a bunch of people who ain't shit. I hope that made you feel good to say we're trash. I hope it made people good to put out the clown emojis. I hope y'all feel better now. Does it make you feel good? Good for you. I'm a clown. Good for you. Damn. Wow. Thank you very much for that comment, Los Torres Hawks. Know who his team is? That's who it was, Ernest Jones. I never once said that the Seahawks were pretenders, but he said that people have been saying it, and they've got no respect. Well, I hope you got your RESPECT now. Find out what it means to me. Respect to you, bro. Seahawks fan here. Thank you. Somebody said something nice. Wow. I think we can end the show right now on that. Thank you very much for that comment. Is that Ernesto? Thank you very much. Hope I didn't botch that. Those letters are so small. Say that, bro. More people need to hear that. It's a sad, sad world. It is. Thank you for that comment, brother. It is. And we act on the internet the same way we act out in this traffic. Just fuck you, get the fuck out of my way. Nobody values anything about anybody's time, their space, their privacy, their nothing. Just fuck you and get the fuck out my way. And I want to be mad. I want to be a troll. I want to say mad things. I want to try to upset this person. I guess this world is full of miserable people because they're not satisfied until they can try to make someone else feel just as miserable and shitty as themselves. Well, I'm not miserable at all. At all. I'm okay. I'm serious. I'm serious when I say this. I am kind of glad we're not the #1 seed. I never really wanted it. But my Niner gang gets at me and trolls me and makes fun of me and say I'm not a Niner fan when I say what's really on my mind. So I tried to stay positive because I can't say anything without saying we're going to win every week, we're going to go 18-0, and we're going to be the champions. I have to say that every year in order to be a fan in some Niner fans' eyes. That's bullshit. We're not going to go 18-0 every year. We're not going to win a Super Bowl every year. We ain't won one in 31 years. Come on, man. So I said all that to say this. Being under the radar is not so bad. I would much rather prefer it. We seem to play better then. Going from 1 to 6 is a hell of a fall off. But we know where we stand now. We were barely good enough to beat the Bears. We kind of should have knew we couldn't beat the Seahawks, who were much better defensively. And we know that we were only looking really good against teams that aren't just that damn good. You know, like the Colts and the Browns and the Titans. We beat Shadur Sanders and Cam Ward and Phillip Rivers and Jacoby Brissett. We knew that this was going to be a different ball game. That's why I kept saying for weeks on out, and everybody that's talking that shit right now, were you not here listening to me when I said over and over and over again, I need to see us against the Bears and the Seahawks before I really know where we stack up against. You know, where do we really sit in the NFC after we play those two? Have you not seen me argue with some 49er fans who say I'm not a real fan because I got nothing positive to say? You don't like Brock Purdy. Keep that energy now, blah, blah, blah. I mean, I hear it all. So, y'all, please just chill, relax, and it's just a football game, y'all. It ain't that serious at the end of the day. Even if the Niners win the Super Bowl right now, we get nothing from it. Seahawks, if you win the Super Bowl, Seahawk fans, they're not giving you a ring. You know that, right? They're not going to give you a piece of the franchise. You're not getting a contract. You're not getting a job. You're not getting a piece of the franchise. You're going to just keep spending and spending and spending. You're not getting free tickets. You're not getting any free merch. You're not getting a damn thing. None of us are. Okay? It's just bragging rights. So you get to brag today. Great. Good. Cool. But that's just today, motherfucker. What are you going to be doing in 2 weeks? What are you going to be doing in 2 weeks? And if we don't make it out of the wild card, again, I'm going to say it again. No one expects us to. So it's okay. It's okay. When the season ends, I'll come back to the question that should the 49ers have made a trade by the trade deadline for somebody else that probably could have made an impact on the Niners defense, where they can get no pass rush, where they cannot stop the run, where they just cannot cover long enough because of the lack of pass rush and all of that stuff right there. We'll revisit that when the season is officially over. I'm one who said, just let that shit ride out. We're not good enough to compete with the Seattles and the LA Rams and the Denver Broncos and the Patriots. I said this stuff. Why is everybody acting like they've got amnesia? I was saying this around Halloween. Just because we went on a winning streak doesn't change anything. I just said that, hey, man, we look good. But I've said after every win the past 6 weeks, we've done nothing we were not supposed to do. I've said that. I'll say this. For the Rams and the 49er fans, whichever one of us gets the 5th seed, you may kind of want to play Tampa Bay other than Carolina. I know Tampa Bay beat Carolina yesterday. But Carolina really can intercept the football. I just want to try this for a minute and see if this works. This is probably a clown or somebody willing to troll. If not, forgive me. But Sam says he wants to be invited as a co-host. Try that again, man, and I want to let you in. Next person that wants to come in and talk about something real quick, I just want to see that this thing actually works. We tried to get Liddy in here to talk about the WWE. And she wants to tell me why the WWE is going to be so good and why I'm tripping. It's not as bad as I'm saying it is. But we could not get her in here. I've had 2 people already try to ask for an invite. Gabriella Marie, I agree with you. I agree with you. She said that our offense can compete when we have Ricky. Seahawks fans must have forgot we didn't have Ricky last night, even though I've said that shit like 5 times. We also didn't have our all-pro, future Hall of Famer left tackle, Trent Williams, last night. We will see if Sam Darnold doesn't choke it up in the playoffs. Oh, you know he will. But let the Seahawks have their fun today, because we're just sore losers if we don't congratulate them and give them their props, which I have done. I have done. If we go home next week, it's mainly because our defense sucks. But we've been saying that all season long. It sucks. And I don't know if Fred Warner I don't know if we'll be alive long enough for Fred Warner to come back. I don't know. I don't know. I'll read a few more comments and I'm out of here, y'all. These games today don't mean a thing to me. Just the Steelers and Ravens, and I think maybe that the Patriots already have the AFC East. I think that Charger and Bronco game, is it Chargers Broncos? If the Broncos have not clinched at West yet, then that means something, but I'm not sure. If they have already clinched the AFC West, then that game means nothing either. Christian McCaffrey should have made the catch. Had he made the catch, we'd probably be having a different conversation today, but I kind of doubt it. All right. Been on the suicide watch all night. Well, I hope that's not true, Eduardo. Eduardo, how you doing, brother? I would never be on the suicide watch over a football game. Y'all, please stop it. I know he's just joking, but still. WWE needs someone to show up. Yeah, Chris Jericho may show up as early as tomorrow night. He may. Rabbit said Seattle was winning it all. Of course you would say that. We would be saying the same thing right now. Hey, we won last night too, probably. All right, I got somebody that wants to be a guest. Bears are the best in the league, twin. Twin, am I? Who is this? Let me see what CLB has to say. So it does work. I can get people in here. Let's see if he's here to really debate something with me, or is he here to troll? We'll just see. I just wanted to see if it's going to work. I've accepted him in, and he's not coming in. We will be the 5th seed. So you think the Rams are going to lose to the Cardinals today? Okay, here we go. CLB. CLB, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay, what's up, man? What you want to talk about?
All right, so you said that WWE is not going into shambles, right?
No. I didn't say that. I said that I'm going to debate with a young lady who is going to tell me why it's not going into shambles. Well, that's going to be our debate. I think it's terrible.
Who is up after the... Pretty much, we're at the part where all of the megastars are within a couple years of being retired.
Correct.
So who comes up? Bron Breakker, Obafemi, Javon Evans, maybe Tony D'Angelo if he is booked correctly, because he has not been booked correctly, but he also has the injuries. Orton's got maybe 2, maybe 3 years left. Rhodes has got maybe 2 or 3 years left. Rollins can't stay healthy to save his life. Drew, we all know what's happening with Drew. He's getting pushed to the bottom.
Agreed.
Who is coming up from NXT that is going to push it to the moon unless they sign from an outside company. And if they sign from an outside company, who can they sign besides it? Like MJF? Damn it, what's his face? Fletcher? Kyle Fletcher?
No.
He ain't terrible, but he isn't going to take you to that next step.
He's terrible to me. But a CLB, you're saying everything that I was going to say to the lady who wants to debate with me on why the WWE is not good. So I don't know why you're here to debate. Well, there's no debate. We agree with this. Now, I will say this.
I got a question.
Hold on. I will say this. I'm trying to answer the first one. I do think Trick Williams is a star in the making. Carmelo Hayes is a star in the making. Obafemi is a star. But in order for them to become those stars, they do need some of these veterans on their way out to put them over to get there. Drew McIntyre could be one of those. Cody Rhodes, of course, who is still there. These are the people who need to be putting them over. And it can be done. They just have to do it right. And they have to come up with good stories. And the creative team have to come up with better feuds, better storylines that they are not doing. But there are people that can be the next stars. And Braun Breaker as well, I forgot to mention him. All those people that you mentioned can be. It's just, you're going to have to sell it real hard by giving us good stories, compelling stories that we emotionally get attached to. And this is the reason why we want those people to succeed, or we don't. We hate them so much, we don't want them to succeed. Now, what was your next question?
How much longer do you feel like Triple H has in creative control?
I think
the direction of how it's going.
I think this should be. I'm hearing that this could be, even though I don't believe it. This could be his last year. Because of the things that happened with the John Cena retirement tour. I've been telling people for the longest, he tried to bury him. He's got a personal agenda against him. He's just smiling in his face and stabbing him in the fucking back. And Cena will tell all of this stuff, but not a moment before he gets inducted into the Hall of Fame. When he gets done doing that, give it a few years down the road, you will hear, slowly but surely, the things and the sabotage that Paul Levesque has done to make some of these people that he hates look bad.
Since Shawn Michaels has took over NXT, Shawn Michaels should have been the first one put in creative control of WWE.
Yes, I do. I've said, I don't know. See, CLB, I can tell you don't watch the Great Debate Show. I appreciate you coming in, but you're saying things, you pretty much just sound like you hit the play button from what I've said for months. I've said that Shawn Michaels is doing a much better job than Triple H. I've said this many a time.
Time to time.
Okay, but I've said it many a times, man. You probably missed it, but I've said that HBK is doing better. I would much rather have HBK in charge of the main roster, and if not The Rock, even though I know they're not bringing The Rock back, but The Rock came up with better ideas than Triple H. The Rock is the one who said, Cody, you should turn heel. Triple H said, no, let's do Cena. How the fuck did that shit work out? It was terrible. This was the beginning of Triple H ruining Cena's farewell tour. And I ain't even the biggest Cena fan. But he's most of the WWE fans' GOAT. That's not the way you treat a GOAT. This should be Triple H's last year, head of creative. I am tired of him shoving down our fucking throats that he runs the shit. Unreal bullshit. This is just things that he's shoving down our throat to remind us that he is the guy in charge. And that's going to be his downfall. The only reason why he's still afloat right now is because TKO is bringing in all the motherfucking coins. But when fans smarten up and stop buying those damn high-ass ticket prices and fans begin to dwindle in those arenas, he'll be out of there. Because he's not there because of his storytelling. He's not there because he's making stars. All right, I just want to say that part. We kind of agree on most of the things, but CLB, I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah, what's up?
Who do you want? Who should be in place to turn Obafemi's and the Ricky Saints and the Trick Williams and the Carmelo Hayes and the Braun Breakers and the Bronson Reeds? Who's going to turn these people into stars? Who do you think should be there? And who do you think should be ahead of creative doing that?
In all honesty, I feel like if they handed it to him, Paul Heyman. Because Paul Heyman had the ideas with ECW. He created how many people? You put Paul Heyman with the time, the experience, and you let him run these young guys and women trying to get into the industry, trying to build themselves up, get better at it, whatnot. That's the man to do it. He's seen every match. He's seen it go from top to fucking bottom. He can get the promo skills going. If anybody's going to take them to the next level, that's not Shawn Michaels once he moves up out of there, would be Paul Heyman.
Well, you may be right about Paul Heyman, but I think Paul Heyman does have some insight some input, on the creative. I know he's not the head of it, but I think they allow him into that room at times, and I think that he pitches some things. We didn't get the tribal chief, the Roman Reigns era without some of Paul Heyman's creative mind, along with Roman Reigns. So if he took it over full time, though, yeah, he possibly could make it much better. I don't know. I believe Vince McMahon would have gave him that opportunity, but I don't think Triple H does. There's words that him and Nick Khan don't have a great relationship. Bruce Pritchard. So I just think it's time for a whole new regime. They need to just shuffle that thing up, and TKO is going to be the one calling shots on that. And until that happens, this is going to continue to be bad, in my opinion. Now, I do kind of like where they're going with it. Obafemi is coming. Trick Williams has arrived. Carmelo Hayes is finally a champion. I like all of that. Braun Breaker is about to be a world champion. The problem is they need stories, not just matches. Because without that, it's just AEW or whatever AEW was when I stopped watching it. I don't like that. I like the entertainment. So I'll give you Paul Heyman, Shawn Michaels. If these people, and Lord knows I know it would never happen, but I wish they could get a Jim Cornette or Vince Russo back in the writing room, because those guys still know their wrestling. I know that they can be over the top with a lot of things that they say, but they know how to book wrestling. I just know they'll never be in the WWE room again, though. Okay, thank you. Go ahead.
Do you feel like at this point, and I've noticed it over probably the past 2 years, probably about the past 2, maybe 3 years, a lot of the shit they're doing is copy and paste.
Yeah.
100%. Like the 3 stages of Hell match, if you look at the last one, pretty sure it's the exact same matches. Well, I think the one was the Hell in a Cell at the end instead of a steel cage. The Drew and Cody, they built it up so much to give us a traditional, a falls count anywhere, and a steel cage match. And with how WWE angles practically everything at this point, it's a copy and paste, and there's no excitement to that.
None at all.
Like if they would have bring back the casket match for the last one.
Yeah.
Go through a street fight, Hell in a Cell, casket match.
Yeah.
Give that match some prestige, especially when it's a championship match. The championship matches anymore have, like when they're like, oh, we're going to have a street fight, we're going to have a false count anywhere. That's a Tuesday anymore. There's no, like I remember watching the, Shawn Michaels and Triple H. That thing was over the fucking moon. And now they've hit a point where they can't even really hype up big matches.
You would think that they would go back. You would think that they would go back to those days. All you have to do is just do what we do and turn on the television and go back and look. They put these matches on the WWE Vault all the time. They're in control of that. You would think they would know how to bring us some of those type of matches back. And that's one of the reasons why it's so boring, because it's TV PG and we get PG matches. And on top of that, these people can't stay can't stay healthy because they get fucking injured all the time. So, and that's coming from the lack of house shows that they're not doing anymore and all of that. So, CLB, look, I appreciate your time and I appreciate your questions, but honestly, we didn't really have a great debate here on the Great Debate Show. We kind of share the same mind right now as to what they're doing. But I do thank you for coming in. I do.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for following. I hope you're following. I hope you continue to watch. Let me see what I can do with this next person because somebody else wants to join. Thank you again, man. We'll do it again. Okay. People want to come in today. And wow, let's see here. Let's see what one of my top 5 viewers has to say. Jen, are you still here? Now we're having a busy day here on the Great Debate Show. Hey, what's up, Jen?
Hold on 1 second.
Okay. So I know she wants to talk Niner football. This is a Niner fan. Let's see what she has to say here, and we're going to wrap this thing up.
Not that you needed any help with this, and I know you don't, but for you guys that came in to troll, I appreciate it because I'm here probably more often than some of you.
You are.
If you realize you guys are saying how you dominated, you scored 13 points on a shit defense.
Yeah.
I mean, so there's that. And if you really are an NFC West fan, you'll realize that one game isn't anything. I mean, they play each other hard even when our division sucks. So I'm not really sure that you're making a great case about the Seahawks. We played like shit, period. And you guys won. It's not like, and I believe you also said that you didn't really feel super confident in this game either. I know I didn't.
Yeah, I did that.
But when you say that the Seahawks are our daddy, I mean, come on. Even daddies like to be dominated sometimes.
Yeah, Jen, I thank you so much for coming in here, and I appreciate you for dropping some of that knowledge on us. Jen just basically said, for anybody that couldn't hear her on YouTube, that we did not, play good. Of course, we did not. We looked like shit, but the Seahawks only put up 13 points on a shitty defense, which is ours. Yes, they got the win, but there's no need for what we're hearing now. Excuses, trolls, clowns. I'm reading the comments. Everybody just got something. Instead of just saying what one guy said, as a Seahawks fan, respect. That's all you have to say. But nobody wants to have any respect or any class. So that's how it is, Jen. Jen, I've also been telling everybody to expect the worst and hope for the best as far as the Niner fans go. And I gave everybody a scenario. I'm sure you saw it. On New Year's, I gave everybody a scenario on how we could still get back to the Super Bowl in Santa Clara, even if we are a 6th seed. Did you agree with anything that I had to say as far as Philadelphia, maybe to Seattle again, and then possibly to LA for the championship? Do you think we're one and done as we backpedal into the wild card?
I mean, not playing like we did last night. I mean, no, obviously everyone can have a bad game. I'm not going to make excuses for them. Again, they played like crap. But am I going to sit here and think that they're done? No, because quite honestly, there are a couple of games this season that we thought there's no way they're going to win. And so somehow they've pulled it out of their behinds and they've managed to win. So I don't know what the deal was last night. I'm not going to pretend to know. But, and do I think that interception against Christian in the end zone, basically, or at goal line was going to make the difference? No, but I mean, at least it would have given them a little more of a chance. But I never am going to think my team is one and done. You know what I mean? But I knew last night was going to be a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
And so if we go back there, like you said, and that's true in any sport, it's hard to beat a team 3 times.
It is.
I mean, that is literally in every sport.
Yes. And that's what we would have had to done if we did beat the Seattle Seahawks last night, because we're going to face them again in the playoffs. I just think we are. If we had have gotten the number 1 seed, I still think we go to Seattle in a few weeks if we can get past Philadelphia. I'm going to read this one comment and I'm going to let you go, Jen. And you probably can agree with this. This is more respectful. Somebody just said, livest, or is this Live Strong? Live Strong just said that the Seahawks dominated the 49ers, but the 49ers still had a chance to win. The Seahawks are beatable. I don't think it gets any realer than that. That is actually an accurate comment. Would you agree?
I do. I think they had opportunities. They didn't capitalize on those opportunities. And I mean, that's just how games go, right? So it just didn't go in our way last night, and that's okay. And I don't hear you saying that you're whining about it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand. Where have I whined? I've congratulated the Seahawks fans. I said you did your thing. You dominated us. You whooped our ass. What am I whining about? But I'm still a whiner. They just like to call us that, Jen. They just love to call us that. Because I can admit we can.
But I guess if I'm going to be petty, then the 13 points, I mean, it wasn't really, I mean, even though you had the ball for the majority of the game, 13 points wasn't really a dominating game.
Yeah. The 3 points is what they're really hanging their hats on. They really think we should be embarrassed. We should feel sick because we only scored 3. I'm not even more concerned with the 3 because, like you said, they only got 13. I'm just more concerned in how it looked the entire game. We looked like a pot that was boiling, but nobody would take the top off of it to let it, to keep from it running over. Yeah, and that was...
At the end of the day, we're still in the playoffs, and so there's still life, and there's some teams out there that aren't even going, so I'm cool with where we've gotten, given all the things that have gone on through the years, so...
Yep. And again, Jen, before I let you go, one more thing. Look, expect the worst, hope for the best. Everybody that's making fun of us right now, they are making fun of beating up a butch and beat up and battered team that has been that way all season long. Ricky Pearsall was there last night. We take the top off the defense, and it doesn't feel like that pot is just about to boil over. We didn't have him, though. And we couldn't. That's the guy who really does make plays 10 to 15 yards down the field on those big, deep to intermediate routes. So it's okay. We lost. It was a bad game. I think this thing is still scripted. I've said that all the time. I think the theory could still happen where we can still get back to Santa Clara in 5 weeks by beating the Eagles and then going on the road and beating Seattle in Seattle, which we've done already this year, and then coming back to LA to beat the Rams. I think it can happen. I'm banking on it to happen. If it doesn't, you know what? Guess what, Jen? We did what everybody expected us to do. Just be a one-and-done team in the playoffs because of the easiest strength of schedule. It's no big deal. And we were literally banged up all season. So
100%.
That's all I got to say about that. Jen, I thank you for being one. It said when you came in here that you're my top 5 viewer. And I just want to say I appreciate that so much. Thank you. And let's see how it goes. Bang, bang, sis.
Bang, bang. Have a good day.
You too. All right. So I had a few people come in here and join me. This thing actually does work. We were trying to get this thing tested on New Year's Day so we could debate the wrestling. I had a young gentleman come in and debate the WWE with me, even though we really kind of share the same opinions. But we'll get back to Liddy and see can we get her to debate with us about it. And then I had my Niners sis Jen come in here and just basically tell you all that I'm not whining. I'm not complaining. I'm not making excuses. I gave the Seahawks fans their props. They won, and you were the better team last night. You were, no doubt about it. You've got the number 1 seed. Congratulations. But now the pressure's on you all, not us anymore. That part, I'm actually kind of happy about and relieved. Okay, again, y'all, I gave y'all the path on how the Niners can get back to Super Bowl 60 in Santa Clara in 5 weeks. Beat the Eagles next week in an upset. Go to Seattle the week after that, divisional round, and upset them. And then come back to the championship game and play at Chicago or at LA, which I would hope to be in LA instead of Chicago. Levi South. And we could actually still get there. Is it a long shot? Yes. But I predicted the Niners would win it all this year. It's just that theory that I had of us being the 3rd team to win a Super Bowl in our home stadium and the 3rd time being the charm for us to win this time under Shanahan, getting to a Super Bowl. Yes, it's a long shot, but do you really think the Seahawks are going to win the NFC? I'm sorry, I don't. I think at some point, Sam Darnold's going to turn into Sam Darnold. Even against our shitty defense, they didn't allow him to make mistakes, and they didn't just put the ball in his hands and say, go win it for us. It was more of a game call, a game plan saying, you're not going to fuck this up for us. If any Seahawks fans can't agree with that, you just tripping and you hating. You got the win. It is what it is. But now I'm starting to think that that team with the good record that usually goes one and done all the time, I said it would be an AFC team, but now I'm starting to think it's going to be the Seattle Seahawks. Nobody wants to believe that. They want to think that I'm just being petty and I'm in my feelings right now. That's not it. It's just that I saw the Seahawks last night, and as dominating as they looked, we still had a chance to beat them, just like somebody just said in the comments, just like my Niners sis Jen just said. All right, again, congratulations to the Seahawks. Congratulations, you're number 1 seed. Now go prove to everyone that you really are contenders and not pretenders. Give me the Ravens tonight over the Steelers, even though whoever wins, I don't think either one of them make a lot of noise. The Texans and the Bills is who I've got in the AFC Championship game. The Niners at the Rams is who I have in the NFC Championship game. If we are one and done, Give me the Eagles and Rams. If the Eagles turn it back on, they're the best team in football, and they're going back to back. The question is, we haven't seen that Eagles team in a long time this season. And if we can look up and not see that Super Bowl team, we've got a chance. That's all I'm saying. The Eagles defense is not as good as Seattle's defense. You see all this credit that I'm giving Seattle? The only thing I don't trust in Seattle was their quarterback when it matters the most. How is that clowning or hating or whining? Norse Mr. Peak said, I'm a Seahawks fan, but I'm not talking shit because you are a wise fan. You are a fan who can really, like just stay neutral, with your feelings and what is realistic here. You're a realistic fan. I mean, you could, and it's okay to talk shit, but I respect and appreciate you not doing it because you don't see the future and you don't know where your team is headed next. You don't even know who's going to be the first team to come in Seattle. But I just got the funniest feeling the next team the Seahawks play is going to be the 49ers on that divisional round week. All we have to do is upset the Eagles. I know I shouldn't have said it like that, all we have to do. But hey, you all were saying all we got to do is beat Seattle, and we got the #1 seed, and I said pump your brakes, fans. It don't mean like we're going to do that. Anyway, y'all, this was a great show. I think we got some guests that came in. I thank you all for wanting to be a guest. I thank you all for wanting to come in and talk to me. I really appreciate it. You, the first respectful Niners fan. Thank you very much for that, Jackson. I try to be, man. There's no disrespect in me. I don't get down like that. I keep it real, and I'm one of the most unbiased podcasters out here. That's why people rock with me. It's just taking a little bit longer than expected to get a whole lot of people to rock with me. Purdy has to prove he's a top 10 quarterback. Well, we can't say he's a top 10 quarterback when he beats bad teams, and then say he's not a top 10 quarterback when he loses to good teams. What does that make him? I'm not even going to say anything about Purdy right now because when I start saying stuff about Purdy, it just gets real fuzzy and cloudy and ugly on this podcast and in the comments with my own Niner game. I'm not going to go there right now. Nobody got open for Purdy last night. Nobody was open, and he wasn't well protected. I don't know what he could have done last night. It just would have looked a lot worse if it was Mac because he can't move. But yeah, Seattle, they had our number, man. Stop the run game, and we can stop the Niners. But that's always been how you beat Kyle Shanahan. And that's why I've been saying for years now, when can we get rid of Kyle No Style? You see how quick that narrative changes from one week to another? He's the coach of the year. Now fire him. He's the coach of the year. Look what he's doing. Now fire him. He didn't look like the coach of the year last night, did he? I'm going to take one on those. I'm going to take one of those belts. Okay. Thank you for the comment and the compliment. Dancing on the sun. FNC said the defense. Ugh. Yep. Taking a big hit last night. We did. Tatum Bethune keeps getting hurt over and over, back and forth, coming in, hurt again, coming in, hurt again. Upton Stout was pretty decent last night. Unc, still watching WWE. Yeah, what do you know? What do you say? What can I say? Sick Jordan poster too. Thank you, brother. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Eagles, Seahawks, NFC Championship. That'll be a pretty good one too now. That very well could happen. All they got to do is just beat us when we come to town after we beat the Eagles. I'll change this whole scenario if the Rams lose today in Arizona, then they're the 6th seed and they go to Philly, even though I still think the Rams can go in there and beat Philly. They had them beat earlier this year. I think they can beat them too. They got a better chance to beat them than we do, but I still think we can beat them too. But I would much rather go to Tampa or Carolina. I would, but I can't see the Rams losing to the Cardinals today because they would rather go to Tampa than to Philly, I'm sure. Eagles offense needs a break because the defense shuts out any team's offense in the first 5 seconds. Thank you for the comment. LO Experience, is Winters okay? I don't have a word on Winters just yet, but he was another person that, as you noticed, when he went out, it started to get a little bit worse in that defense and that run game. That run game got even better. Been a 49er fan for 25 plus years. I'll call them out all the time when we do not do good. You sound a lot like me, Shane. A realistic Niner fan who doesn't mind being negative, even though that's what they say, when we're really just being realistic. I respect that, brother. Bills 49ers would be so sweet. Wouldn't Chris Berman love that? He predicted that for years and years and years when I was growing up as a kid. I didn't know back then, though, he was a Bills fan. And for whatever infatuation that he had with the Niners, he always wanted his Bills to play my Niners. But the Cowboys were busy whooping our asses, and they were beating the Bills in those Super Bowls, unfortunately. Brock Purdy will never win a bowl. Hey, you may be right, bro. Thank you for the comment, RCNFL. Frederick says, man, that game was BS. It was hard to watch. It was hard to watch. I like this comment I just saw about 49ers. He said, trade for Cosby. Yeah, I would love that. A Raider fan told me on New Year's Day the Raiders would never do that. Well, I got a comment the other day that said if they don't fix their disdain relationship between the two, the front office and Max Crosby, they very much will consider a trade. Corey said y'all did not dominate. Laughing my butt off. As a Hawks fan, I think y'all would be the #1 seed if you were fully healthy. Thank you, Jackson. This is the Seahawks fan that knows how to be civilized, realistic. We were not healthy, but they're talking shit like we had everybody, including Bosa and Warner and our #1 pick, Mikael Williams, and damn, Ricky Pearsall and Trent Williams. You act like those people were on the field, most of you fans. Jackson is a real one, man. I appreciate you, brother. Congratulations again on your #1 seed. I'd be lying if I said I wish the best for you. But at the same time, if you're the best team, I'm going to let it be known and I'm going to give you your credit. I think that you are really close to being one of the best. I just don't trust that quarterback when it matters the most. I want to thank everybody for joining me. JB, WSU, Nova, Diamond Crusher, 49ers. Yes, we need a good draft, but can we ever get one with Lynch and Shanahan? Depending on how we end this season, are you still going to want to keep Lynch and Shanahan? Do you still want to bring them back? We never really have a good draft with those guys. I mean, Upton Stout has been okay. He's been solid. Mikael Williams, he was all right, but we didn't see much. Alfred Collins, what is he really doing? He makes a play every now and then. This wasn't a great draft class. If it was, they wouldn't look like rookies still. So do you really trust Shanahan and Lynch to give us a good draft? I think it's going to have to take a whole new regime in order for that to happen. Thank you, Mr. Pickles. Not having Trent, Warner, Bosa, starting D-line, cornerbacks. Shaking my head. I know. Thank you, Nova, Diamond Crusher, Mr. VB, a fully healthy Niners will dominate. Go Hawks, bring Crosby to Seattle. Thank you, Stick with the Kicks. Michael Aragon, Broncos are winning the Super Bowl. Broncos and Seahawks rematch, says Diamond Crusher. Okay. O-line looks so lost without Trent Williams. They do when they play a good defense. So what does that say about the Chicago Bears? We looked good last week against the Bears without Trent Williams. Corey J. Ray, we did exactly what I expected. Just when you get excited, they humble you. Defense and O-line hold us. That's a bar right there from Corey J. Ray. And I've been saying it all year long. As soon as even I get excited and start saying, oh, man, watch out for us. We do look dangerous. That's when they bring us back to life. Raymond De La said, I might sub. Don't might, just do it. Just like Nike. Just do it, brother. Walter Taylor, every time Rick go out for the year, the 49ers fall for good. Well, I'm not saying he's out for the year now. But if he is, yeah, that's probably it for us against these good defenses we got to play. We can't stop nobody. Our defense is banged up and our offense is a little banged too. But until our D can step up and get some stops, everything is going to be on our offense. As I've been saying all along, Frederick, we've got to score 40 to win. And last night, we didn't come nowhere near it. FNC is laughing at me. LO Experience says, yes, I would. I just don't know who would replace them to not do worse than their regime. Well, we can't worry about that, LOX. We just got to just do it. If you're tired of seeing the results, be the same. If you think that we've reached our ceiling with Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, and we're just going to continue to just do enough to keep getting 5-year, 6-year extensions from Mr. York, then you've got to close that checkbook and you've got to tell them thank you. You made us relevant again. You gave us 2 Super Bowl appearances, but this is where this stops. And that's that. Raymond said, I just subbed. Thank you, brother. That wasn't so hard, was it? I don't know who your team is, but I thank you for subbing. I pray Kellen Moore gets fired. I want him back on the Eagles coaching staff. Kevin isn't doing crap. Now, he's not going to get fired because Tyler Shook is starting to look like a quarterback in this league. So they got to run that back and see how that goes if he plays a full season. Y'all, thank y'all for getting them likes up. I appreciate it. Thank y'all for joining me here. We got NFL Sunday about to kick off in about a half hour. I'm done for the day. I'll probably come back and talk about the Steelers and the Ravens tonight. Maybe. But I hate AFC football. I'm not going to lie to you, especially AFC North football. No Bengals. Oh, I hate that. No Bengals offense. Let's see what happens. Lamar's playing tonight. Y'all, I think the Ravens win, and I think the Steelers say, Mike Tomlin, this is it. And I think Mike Tomlin tells Pittsburgh, this is it for me too. And they mutually agree to part ways. That's my prediction. Hell, if Baltimore loses tonight, I think Baltimore and John Harbaugh should mutually agree to part ways as well. So tonight I'm going to call this winner takes all. Whoever wins, of course, they go to the playoffs. Whoever loses, the coach is fired. Or as Vince McMahon used to say it, I wish he could go on the 50-yard line right after the team loses and says, Mike Tomlin or John Harbaugh, you're fired. Wouldn't that be lovely? Damn, I miss Mr. McMahon. I'm sorry, y'all, but I do. I know he's a piece of shit. I get all of that. But damn it, before he lost his touch, he gave us something to look forward to. Even when he got things wrong, he gave the WWE fans something to look forward to. And going to the arena, tickets were reasonable to purchase. All right, anyway. Like LO Experience said, put some Stone Cold beers up. Hell yeah. I hope you all enjoy your Sunday fun day. And if your team is not going to the playoffs, it's okay. My team is going, and they may not be there for long. That's what everybody's telling me. So what the hell? All right, y'all. I see more people wanting to actually be a guest here. This is the first time this has ever happened, but I really got to wrap this up, and I really got to go. Damn, there's Liddy. Wow. I got to get out of here, y'all. I'm sorry. We got to do this again later. I tell you what, maybe tonight we get this thing cracking some more. I apologize to Liddy, but we're going to get that WWE talk. I bet she heard me and the young gentleman talking about the WWE earlier, and I bet you that's what she really wants to come in here and go out for. Also, Nova, Thor's World, and Wyatt Bray. I'm sorry, y'all. They want to be a live guest with me right now, but I really got to hit this road. Until we yeet again, can I say that now? They're the champions again, the Usos. Nah, I don't really care for that. Y'all like my poster? Seth freaking Rollins? You like the hoodie? When are we going to see him on TV again? If we could just go back to 2022 again, man. All right, y'all. I got to go. Wish me a safe trip, why don't you? And when I get there, hopefully I can catch at least the second half of the Ravens and the Steelers, and I will chop it up after the game if it's anything worth chopping it up about. But I think the loser of this game, the coach and the team mutually agrees to part ways, especially Mike Tomlin in Pittsburgh. Hey, Niner fans, would you take Mike Tomlin, or is he just another Kyle Shanahan? Would you take Mike Tomlin if he does leave Pittsburgh after tonight? And if the 49ers get their ass kicked in Philadelphia next week, do you think it's time? Shanahan always just does enough to keep getting those 6-year extensions. Jed York, at some point, you're going to have to come on down, and you're going to have to let it be known you're the boss. And you're not okay with just putting butts in the seats. Now, let's be honest. That's all you give a fuck about right now. All right, y'all, I'm out. Y'all have a great Sunday. Follow The Great Debate Show, available on all social media platforms, because you just never know when your favorite unk might pop back up. Until then, y'all be safe and peace. Thank y'all so much for coming in here and wanting to be a guest. I really do appreciate it. We're going to get this thing cracking some more tonight. Real talk.